Tomorrow marks the start of National Child Passenger Safety Week. So in this week's Know the Law segment, attorney Tom Sinas is here to talk about seatbelt requirements for kids and backseat passengers. Always something to think about.
Boy, it is, and you hear a lot of different things, and it's very easy to get confused. So let's start with the basics. Obviously, what you want to do here is whatever is the safest thing to do. So buckling up in the car, of course, is the safest thing for you to do or for anyone who's in your car. But what are the law, and particularly what's the law for younger kids? This is where people, I think, get most easily tripped up. Let's start with those kids that are under the age of 4. We think of them in a special group. If the child is between the age of 0 and 2, they have to be in a rear-facing car seat in the back seat. No question about that.
Right.
2 and under, rear-facing, back seat.
Because of the airbags.
That's right, that's right. And because being rear-facing when the child is that small has been shown to be the best way to protect a very, very small child in the event of an impact.
Right.
What if you're over the age of 2? Well, if you're between the ages of 4 and 8, you have to be in a booster seat in the back seat. Now, there's a height requirement. So if the child gets to 4'9" before they turn 8, then they don't have to be in a booster seat. But the easier way to remember it is ages 4 through 8 need to be in a booster seat.
And you have to have that locked into the belt system appropriately.
That's right, because the law requires that they be belted.
Right.
And so the belt has to align
Right.
with the booster seat.
If you can't figure it out, have somebody help you, because that's the most important part.
That's such a great point, right? Whether it is the police department, the fire department, or the hospital, there are people all around town who will help make sure that whether it's a car seat for a really small baby or a child 6, 7 years old, they will help make sure that it is installed and fitted properly.
Yeah.
All right, so what happens when your kids get to be older than 8? Well, if they're between the ages of 8 and 15 and they're in the back seat, they have to be buckled, okay?
Mandatory.
Right. Now, don't forget, of course, that anyone in the front seat has to be buckled, the driver and the passenger. So it doesn't matter how old they are. But 8 and 15-year-olds in the back seat need to be buckled. The one problem with our law is that it suggests that if you're over the age of 15 and you're in the back seat, you don't have to be buckled, which is technically true. But it's safety-wise a really bad idea.
It's come a long way, though, in 20, 30 years. I remember when it was legal to have kids riding around in the back of a pickup truck unbuckled. And boy, times have really changed.
They have really changed,
Yeah.
and thankfully people know to think about buckling up. The only little hole I think we have in our law is that it says that a 16-year-old kid in the back seat doesn't need to be buckled. And if you choose to make that decision, obviously, so be it. But don't necessarily think that that means that it's safe.
Right.
Because people have mistakenly come to believe that riding in the back seat is safer than the front seat. And that's just not true.
Right.
There have been some pretty significant events in history, the death of Princess Diana,
Right.
Bob Simon on CBS Minutes, on 60 Minutes, they were killed as backseat passengers. So the back seat is not any really safer than the front seat.
And if somebody has a legal question about an accident maybe they've been involved in, they can always call your office.
They sure can. Call us anytime at 616-301-3333. You can find us online at sinasdramis.com or shoot us an email at info@sinasdramis.com.
Tom, great information. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Christian.